Lucy. It's been a long time. It's me, Vicky.
I'm sorry, who are you? I'm afraid I don't know anyone by that name. Goodbye.
Wait, just hold on a second. What are you talking about? Don't tell me you don't remember your little sister. Did you really manage to forget me in just 8 years?
Yes, that's definitely it. I most definitely have forgotten. I have absolutely no recollection of a woman who does things like stealing someone else's boyfriend. I'm afraid I don't have a sister, so you must be talking to the wrong person.
What? Are you still angry about that? You know, it doesn't look good for you if you just hang on to every little gripe from high school. It certainly doesn't make you look like a good catch to guys. That's probably why they fell all head over heels for me instead, you know?
So, is there any actual reason for you reaching out to me, or are you just trying to start something? I'm pretty sure I remember telling you to never contact me unless there's a serious emergency, didn't I? Frankly, I wanted to cut all ties with you, but if I did that, then I'd also end up losing contact with Mom too. Something like, if you cut ties with your sister, you cut ties with me, if I remember correctly. I can't say I ever understood it. So, while it was something I absolutely loathed to do, I kept a line between us open, but only to not lose Mom. You haven't forgotten that, have you? If you're only reaching out to me to start a fight over some trivial matter, I'll just block you entirely.
Well, I see you're as cold as always. Oh well, whatever. Anyway, I did actually reach out to you for a reason. Two, actually. There is something important I need to tell you about, and I have a request for you, too.
Something important and a request?
Yup, that's right! So, well, the thing is, I am going to be getting married.
Oh, congratulations, I guess.
And that's not all. I'm already pregnant with this child, too. We're getting married quickly so the whole situation doesn't turn scandalous. Isn't that just exciting?
Yes, sure, whatever you say. Is that all you contacted me to say? If so, then I'll just be going.
Oh, I swear you're always like this. Why do you always have to try to end the conversation as soon as possible? I haven't even gotten to telling you my request yet.
Then could you hurry up and tell me already? I have a number of better things to do than just listen to you babble on. Unlike you, I actually have appointments to keep and can't just talk all day.
So yeah, well, here's what's gonna happen. I'll be getting married once I have a kid, so that's why I wanted to ask you to divorce your husband, okay? You can handle that, right?
I'm sorry, what? You want me to divorce my husband? Why?
Well, duh. If you don't divorce him, I can't exactly get married now, can I? That's why I'm asking you to divorce him.
You're not making any sense. Have you completely lost it? Though, before you answer that, there's something else I'd like to know first. How did you even know I was married to begin with? Obviously, I haven't told you, and I didn't speak to Mom about it either.
Well, I heard it from the guy I'm going to be marrying soon. I heard all about how you kept your whole relationship and your marriage a secret from not just me, but from everybody. You know, Dad was super angry when he heard about it.
Well, of course, there's no way I would ever introduce him to any of you. When my family includes a woman who steals boyfriends, and that woman happens to be Daddy's little girl that he'll protect no matter what she does, there's no way I would take that kind of risk. It did hurt not to tell Mom, though, since she seems to be the only one in the family on my side. But I knew that if I told her, she'd just tell you and the situation would spiral into a huge problem, so I just kept quiet. But whatever. Despite all that, you somehow seem to find out. At this point, that's all irrelevant. Who is this guy you're going to be marrying anyway? I certainly hadn't told anyone but my closest friends, and my husband's parents are the only others that would know as far as I understand.
Oh, what's this now? Are you curious? Does it bother you? I wonder if I should tell you. Maybe it'd be better if I kept it as a little surprise.
Look, I don't know what games you're trying to play with me, but I'm not about to just sit around and wait for you to decide whether to actually tell me or not. If you intend to tell me at all, just hurry it up and say who it is already.
Oh, Boo, you're just no fun at all, you know that?
Considering what your definition of fun is, I'll take that as a compliment.
Fine, I'll tell you. I'll be marrying Tony!
What? Tony.
Yep, that's right. That adorable hunk Tony. You know him quite well, don't you? I mean, I can't imagine you don't, since he's your husband and everything.
Excuse me.
That's right. I'm pregnant with your husband's child. Oops, I did it again. I guess I just stole another man from you, didn't I? Silly me.
Wait. Hold on a second. What are you talking about? You're going to marry Tony. Is this meant to be some kind of joke?
Oh, I understand why you might not want to believe me. Really, I do. But everything I've said up until now is the truth. Shouldn't it be obvious who I heard about your marriage from now? I heard everything from Tony. There is no mistake having heard about it from the husband himself.
Just wait. I'm trying to process all of this. Why have you been doing things with Tony of all people? How did you even end up meeting him?
Oh, that's easy. He's a coworker at this new job I just got. I heard about how he'd gone to the same college as you, so I asked him, wondering if it was just a coincidence or if it was more than that. It turns out it was much more. I was shocked when I heard that he not only knew you but was your husband. So after that, I started to get to know him better. I started seeing him more and, well, eventually I got pregnant.
Oh, so that's what's going on, huh?
Yep, that's exactly what's been happening. So I'm going to ask you again, please hurry up and break up with Tony, okay? After all, I'm going to be marrying him by the time I have this baby.
Well, here's the thing. You might be asking me to divorce him like it's no big deal, but, well, that might prove to be a bit difficult.
Oh, what are you talking about? What's there for you to be so troubled about? You haven't had any kids, and from what I heard, you're not even so much as living together. How can you even call that married? You could just file some divorce papers, and it would be over in a snap. That's not that hard, is it?
I mean, yes, theoretically speaking, it would be pretty simple to just file some papers and end the marriage like that. That's not the problem I'm talking about, though.
Look, I don't care what boring issues you have. Just divorce him already. I'll even pay you to do it.
You're willing to pay me? Are you serious? You're willingly offering money for me to separate from Tony.
Yes, can't you read? I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't like the idea of paying you anything at all. I absolutely loathe the idea of doing so. I'm only even offering because Tony was telling me that it was important that we get our marriage official before the baby is born, that's all. He said something about the child being, I don't know, illegal or something. He used some big word I don't really understand.
Ah, an illegitimate love child, huh? Okay, so?
Well, when he told me that, I did all sorts of research. I even Googled it. When a divorce happens, one of the biggest things that couples fight over is money, so I thought that if I could pay you enough for you to divorce him without any extra complaining, I figured you could just give up on him entirely and just move on without making a fuss, you know? Make things easier for everyone. So, how about it? Won't you just divorce him? The sooner the better. I'll pay you whatever amount of money you want.
Ah, I see. I think I understand how you and Tony are thinking well enough. Okay, sure. I'll agree to your request.
Oh, really? Thank you so much, Lucy. So, how much money do you need? Just give me a number and I'll get it wired.
Okay, 0.
0? Are you saying you want nothing?
That's right. I don't need you to pay me. You can just forget about that part.
What? Really?
Honestly, it would feel worse to actually have to accept anything from you, money or otherwise. So I'd prefer you don't pay me. For all I know, you or someone else might try to claim that I'm just a woman who tries to forcibly get money from her younger sister. I'd prefer to just be as separate from this as possible. Why don't you take the money you were thinking of paying me and save it for your child instead?
Are you serious? You're really okay with it? Thank you, thank you, thank you! Even after I stole your husband's affection, you aren't even asking me for money to give him up. You really are the best, Lucy. I love you.
Yeah, I hate you, whatever. Anyway, goodbye.
I'll be sure to get in touch again once I have the kid. Bye-bye. Oh, Lucy, I just gave birth this morning. He's a happy and healthy baby boy.
I'm pretty sure I told you this when you got married. I don't need you to be contacting me to report things like this. I couldn't care less about what's going on in your personal life. Nothing else matters less to me.
Right now, I don't care what sort of mean things you say to me. It doesn't matter. Right now, I'm the happiest woman in the world.
Yes, glad to hear it, whatever.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Lucy. I guess if things had gone differently, you might have been the one holding this little bundle of joy, wouldn't you? Oh, I'm sorry. This must be making you so sad, huh? Considering I stole your husband from you and all. I really did just rob you of all your happiness, didn't I?
Huh? Oh no, I haven't been robbed of anything. I'm perfectly happy with how things are right now.
You know, you don't have to put on such a brave face for me, right? Behind that attitude of yours, it's actually really frustrating, isn't it? It's painful, isn't it? To not only have your boyfriend stolen from you, but to have that even happen to your husband too. I bet you're thinking, I can't believe Vicky beat me again. She even stole the child I deserve from me, right?
No, I'm not putting on anything. I really am fine with how things are. After all, I've got my husband and children sitting right here next to me. What's there to be sad about?
What?
Oh, sorry. I always forget that you're a bit slow, so let me reiterate. In case you didn't know, that means say again for you. My actual husband and my adorable children are both right here next to me, so I'm perfectly happy with how things are.
Your actual husband, and not a child, but children. What are you talking about? Are you telling me you remarried or something?
Do you really think I could go so far as to get married again in this short of a time frame, let alone have more than one child? Look, I think you've been running under a mistaken assumption this whole time, so let me explain things to you. I have never once said that Tony is my husband. Tony and I have also never been married.
Huh? What do you mean?
It's been 5 years since I got married, and I have 2 children of my own already. Obviously, my husband is someone different. As for Tony, he's just an ex-boyfriend I dated for 2 months in college. Nothing more. During that time, he was super controlling and destroyed both my phone and my apartment door. There was even one time he tried to tie me to a chair. Obviously, I split up with him because of that crazy behavior. I heard he got dragged away to the middle of nowhere before graduation, too. He's been acting like a stalker ever since, trying to find me and send creepy messages and whatnot. But I haven't actually met him in person for years.
Huh? Wait, what are you saying? Tie you to a chair. He destroyed your phone and your apartment. Dragged to the middle of nowhere, acting like a stalker. What do you mean by all this?
Oh, you mean you just up and married him without knowing anything about him? When I was in college, Tony was constantly asking me to go out with him, so I humored him for a while. While we dated, he tried to stop me from talking to any other men. He'd even go so far as to take my phone and delete their numbers and messages of my male classmates. When spring break came around, he came by with a rope and said that I wasn't allowed to go out because I might be seduced by someone else. He was going to try to use that rope to keep me literally tied up in my apartment to make sure I couldn't leave. So I broke up with him then and there, and the threat of a restraining order got him to stop trying to force the issue. That didn't stop him from snatching my phone from me and crushing it with his foot, though.
That's completely insane.
Yeah, I realized he was a guy I wanted nothing to do with, but I had the dumb idea that he'd just give up after I told him I wanted to break up. That's when he started coming to my door at all hours of the day. He pounded on the door, yelled at the top of his lungs for me to come out, stuff like that. When none of that worked after a day or two, one day he literally kicked my door down.
What? He did that?
He started barking orders at me, like how I had to quit school and move in with his parents, or I should start practicing homemaking, or some crazy stuff like that. He really did try to drag me away to his family's house someplace out in the middle of nowhere. That's when I called the police and he was taken away in handcuffs. While I managed to avoid being basically abducted, I kept an eye out all the same. Once he was released from police custody, he started stalking me. Even when I ran to another state, he still followed me. Frankly, it was terrifying. I got a restraining order against him, but that didn't change his behavior.
That's so scary. But are you telling me that when Tony told me you were his wife, he was lying? You're saying I just had the kid of a man who wasn't your husband.
Well, it's not exactly normal for a woman to have the baby of her sister's husband. But to put it simply, yeah, Tony was lying. I imagine that when he heard that you were my sister, he thought he could use you as a way to get back to me. So I think he lied and said that he was my husband as a way to get you interested in him, and things went from there. I can't say for sure whether or not he was intending to get you as his wife or not, as you're just my sister and not me.
This is a joke, right? This is just some sick joke. It has to be. Did Tony really trick me?
It sounds to me that you just didn't realize the true nature of the man you were hoping you were stealing from me. Making you marry him, impregnating you so you'd have his kid and make it next to impossible to escape him.
Huh?
It sounds to me like you're going to end up being taken to his family's house. And from what I understand, it really is out in the boondocks, where you'll get no cell reception. I don't even know if they'll have internet access. With how Tony is, I imagine his family probably isn't very different. I think you have a good reason to be worried. It sounds like you've got an interesting life ahead of you.
Wait, just hold on. You're not serious, right? This guy isn't really that crazy, is he? You're just trying to scare me, right?
Well, whether you believe me or not is up to you. But you have to have at least figured it out by now, right? Why I didn't want you to pay me for separating from Tony. That's because Tony was never my husband to begin with. I haven't seen him in years, like I said. There was no reason for me to accept money from you in the first place.
You're so cruel. Why would you not even speak up about something like that?
Hey, you're the one who said you didn't care about what difficulties there were. You just forged ahead based on your own mistaken assumption. You can't put the blame on anyone but yourself. Frankly, I'm surprised you weren't suspicious. Did you really think I wouldn't react more angrily to hearing that you slept with my husband?
Oh, shut up. Now's not the time to be saying things like that to me. Just, what's gonna happen to me now? What should I do? What can I do? Don't you understand how serious this is? I married this guy. I've got a child now. I had no idea that Tony was such a crazy person. Come on, Lucy, you gotta help me. I don't want to go living out in some old-fashioned town out in the sticks.
Look, I don't know what you're expecting me to do. Even if I actually wanted to do anything to help, there wouldn't be much I could do. You're the one who happily chose to marry the guy, remember?
But he told me he was your husband. I thought that no matter who it was, as long as he was your husband, I could make it work. I had no idea about any of this. I was tricked.
Wow, you really are just a total idiot, huh? No wonder he managed to take advantage of you so easily. You were so fixated on just trying to steal my husband that you didn't even bother to check if he was even telling the truth. The moment you heard that he and I were married, you just took him at his word because that way you could try to take him from me. You fell for his act hook, line, and sinker because you were fixated on hurting me wherever you had the chance to instead of paying attention to who he was. If you're going to blame anyone for your current predicament, blame yourself.
No. You're wrong. Come on, Lucy. I don't want this. Please save me.
I refuse. You made this bed, you lie in it. Well, I guess you've laid in it already, haven't you? Anyway, this is goodbye. Have a happy life. Afterwards, I heard Vicky and her new son got discharged from the hospital with no complications. Well, no health complications, at least. The moment she got out of the hospital, Tony showed his true colors and forced her to quit her job and move to his family's house. Just as controlling as Tony, Vicky's new parents-in-law took the boy for themselves and are treating her like their personal housemaid. Once he learned of this, Dad made the long drive into the country and barged into their house to save his favorite daughter. Right now, it sounds like that house is turning into a battlefield. I'm pretty sure this will end up leading to a divorce, but it could turn into a seriously drawn-out battle too. What with Vicky doing little else but trying to steal boyfriends and husbands, I'm not too surprised that it led to something like this. Incidentally, it sounds like Mom's finally had enough of both Vicky and Dad's behavior and has decided to file for divorce herself. While Dad was fighting it out at Tony's family home, Mom filed the divorce papers herself and went home to her old hometown. I heard about all of this thanks to one of Mom's relatives, and it was a relief to hear she finally took action for herself. Now that she's distanced herself from the rest of the family, I finally deleted Vicky's contact info. I'm starting to make plans to see her again so she can finally meet her grandchildren face to face. Thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Please look forward to the next video.
Hello, Miss Harrison. This is Emma from Plains Real Estate. How are you doing today? I'm doing good, thank you. It's always a pleasure to do business with you. Of course. The pleasure is all ours, ma'am. So actually, I've contacted you today to inform you about something very urgent. Is this a good time for you right now? Yes, it's fine. What is this about? It's about the apartment you're currently living in. I'm sorry to inform you, but it's been decided that starting from April, all rents in the building are going to be increased significantly. What? I am sure this is very surprising news for you. However, I would like to ask for the understanding and cooperation of all of our residents. We at Plains Real Estate look forward to your continued support. Wait a second. What do you mean the rent's going up? Well, the cost of living has been rising all around the country recently due to the current economy. Real estate is being heavily affected by this situation too. Okay. I am very sorry to inform you, but the rent increase has already been finalized. We've already received approval for the rent increase from the landlord of this property too. You've received approval from the landlord, huh? Yes, we have. But please know that they were very sympathetic to the residents of this property, and it was a tough decision for them. So while I understand you may be frustrated with the situation, please refrain from contacting or complaining to the landlord. It really was a decision they made out of necessity. So how much exactly is the rent going to be raised by? Ms. Harrison, according to our records, you live on the first floor of the building. Is that correct? Yes, that's correct. The rent for that unit is currently around $1,500 a month. So starting from April, it will be raised to $3,000. $3,000? Are you telling me the rent is doubling in price? Yes, I am afraid so. I've never heard of such a dramatic price hike. That's unacceptable. How could you double the rent? I think you have every right to be upset, Ms. Harrison. However, the recent effects of the economy have been tough for all of us. We ask for your understanding and cooperation. There's no way anyone can be understanding of something like this being dropped on them out of nowhere. And this isn't a matter that you should be sending via text. Where is the written notice? We thought it would be better to contact you directly in case you have any questions or concerns. It's just our way of providing personalized customer support for our tenants. You call this customer support? At any rate, ma'am, do we have your understanding over the rent situation? Huh? I'm going to take that as a yes. We look forward to your continued support from April onwards. Wait a minute. I'm still not convinced. What do you mean? I can't accept a rent increase like this. Please go and discuss the matter with the landlord again. Oh, I see. That's quite unfortunate then. Ms. Harrison, if you can't agree with our new terms, we have no choice but to evict you from the property. What? As I've informed you, we have already finalized on the decision to raise the rent. But if you can't agree to the new price, you will have no choice but to move out by April. So you're telling me it's either $3,000 a month or I'm going to be evicted. That's not giving much of a choice, is it? Unfortunately, it's the only way we can handle this matter. Are you serious? If you don't want to move out, you will need to agree to pay the new price. Please inform us soon whether you want to stay or move out. We'll be waiting for your response.
Auntie, is it true that you're raising the rent? I can't afford $3,000 a month.
Wait, Daniel, did you get a message from that real estate agent too?
Yeah, she sent me a message just a few minutes ago. She said that if I can't pay the rent, they'd have no choice but to evict me.
I didn't think they'd contact you too.
She explained the whole situation to me, Auntie. You've went through a lot of trouble just to keep the rent the same, right?
What?
I want you to know that I'm really grateful to you, Auntie. You went out of your way to let me rent a room here after I had trouble finding a place to live. I just landed my first job, so it was hard to find anywhere open that I could afford. So you really saved me. But I'm sorry. I'm going to have to cancel my lease.
Slow down, Daniel.
I can't afford to pay $3,000 a month on my paycheck. I'm just barely getting started on my career. My company's rent subsidy only covers about $500, so that's not going to be enough. I'm really grateful for all the help you've given me, but I'm sorry. I just don't have any other choice. I'm so sorry, Auntie.
Daniel, wait. You don't have to cancel your lease.
What do you mean?
You don't have to move out. You can keep living in your apartment. It's not a problem. Don't even worry about the rent, okay?
No, I couldn't do that. Auntie, you still have to recoup the cost for property management and taxes, right? I appreciate your kindness, but I know you have to make a living too.
I'm telling you, it's really not an issue. So don't worry yourself about it. You don't have to move out.
Are you sure?
I'm absolutely sure. So there's no need to get hasty about ending the lease. You can cancel when you find a place you really want to live.
But the real estate person was saying you'd be in a rough situation if you don't raise the rent. That, and there's already people lining up to move into the units at the new price. So if we can't afford it, it would be best if we just move out.
What?
So, it would be kind of unfair to everyone involved if I'm the only one to get a discount, just because I'm your nephew. My neighbors are all still trying to figure out if they should stay or leave too.
Your neighbors too? Are you saying that there's other people who got that same message?
Yep, that's what it seems like. My neighbors who live on the same floor as me were also saying they wouldn't be able to afford the rent hike.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure it'd be better for you to rent to someone who can actually afford it, rather than to a family member who can't pay as much.
Daniel, wait. What else did you hear from the real estate agent?
I'd have to check. It was a bit confusing, honestly.
I really need you to tell me everything that she told you.
Sure. But why?
You said that there's already people lining up to move into the units, right? I've never heard a word about that. Let me also make it clear that I have no intention on raising the rent. At all.
What? Really? But she was saying that you already made the decision.
Daniel, when do you come home from work today?
Well, I'm still starting out, so I don't have that much to do. I think I'll be leaving work at the usual time, so I'll probably be back home by 6.
All right. Could you come to my room when you get home? I think it would be much quicker to talk about this in person.
I really don't know what's going on, but sure thing. I'll be sure to let you know when I'm on the way back home.
Hi again, Miss Harrison. This is Emma from Plains Real Estate. Hello again. How are things going? Have you decided whether to renew your lease or move out? Yes, I've made my decision. I won't renew the lease, and I won't be moving out either. Excuse me? I'm not paying $3,000 a month for a room, but I'm also not going to be moving out from this place. Are you serious, Miss Harrison? Do you understand what you're saying? That sounds like you intend to live here illegally. You're the one who's skirting the line of legality. I've never heard of rent suddenly doubling on such short notice. I refuse to pay for such a thing. Ma'am, do you understand the situation? The rent increase was decided after careful consultation with the landlord. We do understand the frustrations of the residents, but you're going to have to pay what you owe if you intend on staying here. I said I refuse. All right. Okay. In that case, we'll have no choice but to evict you then. I'm not going to be evicted either. I'm sorry. I'm not budging on this matter. I'm not paying and I'm not moving out. Ma'am, this is a business, not a charity. If you can't pay, you have to leave. That's just how things work. You're a fully grown adult, so please don't be so immature about this. There's nothing immature about this. Please, I understand your resentment over the rent increase, but I think you should be more ashamed of your own situation if you can't afford to pay for the new rent. Excuse me? With all due respect, if you can't even pay a measly $3,000 for your unit, then this apartment is just not suitable for someone like you. Are you being serious right now? If you can't afford this kind of rent, I highly suggest you move to a cheaper apartment. There's low-income housing available, you know. I don't like what you're insinuating. But there's been a lot of development near the property recently, hasn't there? Thanks to that, the number of people who want to live in this area is increasing significantly. And there's plenty of people who want to live in that specific property that you're currently occupying. I'll have you know that the majority of them have no issues with paying $3,000 a month. So what you're telling me is that there's already a queue for better-paying tenants, and that the poor people who already live here should vacate the premises for them? For someone who can't afford to pay up what they owe, you seem to have a good understanding of how the world works. Really now? Ma'am, you're living on the first floor of the building. I'm aware that you're in a position where you can't afford the higher units. So I think it would be best if you simply move out to some more affordable housing. Oh, if you like, we can help you find a new place to live. I'm sure we can rehome you in a cheap, affordable home that's more suitable for your budget. No, thank you. I'm going to be staying in this apartment. No, I'm afraid we're going to have to forcefully evict you. You have no right to keep living here. Are you sure? If you don't agree to the rent increase, we will have to ask you to leave because we can't keep errant tenants on this property. Like I said, I'm very sorry for your situation, but this is all at the landlord's request. From now on, we don't want poor people in this building. You say this is the landlord's request, but how strange. I don't remember having a discussion about this. Excuse me? I own this place. I'm the landlord you keep talking about. And I never once asked for any of this. Nice try, Miss Harrison. Yes, Miss Elizabeth Harrison. Why don't you go double-check the landlord's name? Then after you finish, maybe you can tell me just what exactly is going on here? I haven't even considered raising the rent. Not even once. You said you discussed this with the landlord. Then who, exactly, did you discuss it with, if it wasn't me? Does that landlord even exist? Please wait a minute. Miss Harrison, you're saying that you're the owner of this property? I have a lot of connections with other property owners, you know. So I understand that I'm somewhat of an outlier as a landlord who lives in a regular ground unit on their own property. I guess that's why you mistook me as one of the regular renters here. Oh, well. But as a real estate company contracted to manage this property, I'd like to think you'd at least be aware of the owner's name. Really? Wait a minute, please. Please let me confirm. Miss Harrison, are you really the owner of this place? I told you already, go check the registry. You have the paperwork with you, don't you? Oh, looks like you have your confirmation now. No way. You've got to be kidding. So, let me ask you this again. I didn't recall asking for an increase in rent or anything of the sort. So what the heck is this all about? Well, Of course, I agree that it's important to make a profit when managing real estate. But personally, I don't want to be a greedy landlord. I want to provide a place where someone like my nephew, who's just started his new job, can relax when he comes home after a long day of work. a place where students attending the nearby university can feel safe and secure. That's what I envision for my property. I have no intention of allowing the rent to skyrocket and letting it get swept up in the gentrification of the area around it. Yes, absolutely, ma'am. I fully understand your intent. Is that so? Yes, that's why the rent of this apartment is so much cheaper than the surrounding neighborhood. Of course, we're also aware that it's a very popular property since it's quite secure and well-maintained despite the price. All right then. So you do seem to understand. In that case, I'll ask you to back off from meddling with my property. And please be sure to clear the misunderstanding with everyone you've informed of the rent increase, particularly the residents of the lower floors. The lower floors, ma'am? You see, my nephew lives on the same floor as me. He's a very social boy, so he knows most of his neighbors. And from what I've heard, it seems like you've been targeting the younger tenants on the lower floors with your messages. I'm so sorry about that. I'll contact everyone immediately to correct the situation. Miss Harrison, I've cleared up the situation with everyone who was informed. I'm so sorry. I'd really like to apologize for acting out of line over this matter. I don't think a simple apology is enough. Do you understand what you've done? I almost lost some of my best tenants from this mess. But I'd like for you to understand that I took this decision upon myself with you in mind, ma'am. Please, I suggest you seriously consider raising the rent. I think it would be very good for you. Excuse me? This area is extremely popular these days. There's so many people who would love to live here, you know? That's why I think now is the time to take advantage of it. While this trend lasts, I think it would be a good idea to bring in new, high-paying tenants. High-paying tenants, huh? It also might be worth doing an all-out renovation. If you make old units into stylish rooms and put it on the market, I'm sure they'd be filled immediately with prospective tenants. Especially if the renovations are comparable to other high-end properties in the area. There'll be high-value renters flooding in with no time. I thought I'd already told you. I'm not interested in that kind of thing. But wouldn't it be nice to increase your income? There's nothing wrong about making more money. As a property owner, I think it would be of great benefit to you, Miss Harrison. And it would surely be a great benefit to you, too, since you guys would get more from your cut of the share. I'm sure I don't know what you mean. Your company is receiving a portion of the rental income in the form of management fees. So the more I raise the rent, the more money you guys make. Isn't that right? Well, you're absolutely right, but... I'm sorry, but I don't own real estate just to turn a profit. I've been very clear about this. I am not going to raise the rent. Ever. But please try reconsidering. I'll definitely do my part to pull in high-value tenants. There really are people who are willing to pay thousands for a unit here, you know. If we could just get your permission, your income is going to double. Wouldn't you like that? We'd make money as an agency, and you as the landlord also make money. It's a win-win-win situation. Wow, you really are desperate. But I guess that's what happens when you have that much debt. Oh, What? You said as an agency, but I know what you really mean. You were planning on pocketing the surplus management fees from the rent increase right into your own pocket, right? I was going to put in a complaint about you to the realtor right away, but then I got curious. Looks like you're in some serious financial trouble, huh? I'm told you owe over $200K in debt. Where did you... Real estate owners have a very tight-knit community. I talked to a friend of mine, and he told me about how you tried the exact same rent increase scam on him. What? He obviously refused as well, but he told me about how desperate you are. You went so far as to cry about your debt in the hopes of gaining his sympathy, right? Oh, no, You should be glad that he didn't contact your agency out of pity for you. But as for me, I'm not going to be that soft. What do you mean? I'm calling your company immediately, and I'm going to file a formal complaint about your actions. No, please! Oh, and I'm probably going to end up changing management companies as well. I don't feel safe entrusting my property to a place that hires people like you. Wait, please. You can't. I'm begging you. Please don't do this. Please don't contact the company. Why shouldn't I? Please. I'll apologize for everything I've done, so please don't do that. I'm going to get fired for sure if you do. And if you end up changing management companies, I don't know what I'd do. They might claim compensation for damages against me. I can't handle any more debt. That has nothing to do with me. Just like how a renter can choose to renew or end a lease, a property owner has every right to choose their own management company. Please, have mercy on me. I only did all this because I was desperate for money. Even out of desperation, you should know there's a limit to what you can and can't do. How did you even go through with this? Right under your company's nose. I've just been so desperate for a way out. My debts, it only keeps growing. I was doing so well when I first joined the company. But recently, I've been overtaken by newer employees, and my salary and commission has gone down so much. But I can't get rid of my habit of spending money no matter what I do. I really couldn't care less. Please don't be like that. Have mercy on me. Sorry, I'm all out of mercy to give. We don't have any tolerance for criminals on my property. Emma was fired shortly after I contacted the management company. It turns out that she'd been embezzling company money to pay off her debts, so even the police got involved. Even after all that, the management company asked me to continue the contract with them. Naturally, I refused. I didn't really have a reason to stick with that particular company. How can you trust a company that hires someone like that, right? Emma was charged for damages by the company after that. I heard her debts have skyrocketed even more than before. As for me, I ended up setting the rent even lower than the market price, and my units have been fully occupied ever since. This, I think, is the ideal way I'd like to manage my property. Thanks for watching! If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe for more content like it.
Yasmin, I think I drove past your house earlier today. I was dropping the kids off on my way home. Yours is the huge house with the beautiful peacock statues by the gate, right? Hi, Kelly. Yeah, that's my house. I would have invited you in, but I was at work at the time. Sorry about that. Perhaps next time, if I'm in, you can come by for a tour. Oh, that would be wonderful. I must say, though, your house is gorgeous. What in the world does your husband do for a living? And aren't you the lucky one having such a rich husband? He must be earning millions of dollars, if not billions. No, he doesn't really. He has a normal office job. Oh, perhaps he comes from a wealthy family then. I mean, it's just that you live in such a huge house, so I'm just curious. I hope you don't mind me asking these questions. It's fine. Speaking of money, the last time I saw you at the PTA, I couldn't help but notice all the high-end jewelry you own. I love the Chanel earrings especially. Oh, I didn't think they stood out that much. I meant to choose simple, plain-looking ones to wear since it was for a PTA. I didn't want to give the wrong impression to the teachers nor other parents, but thanks for the compliment. Well, of course, I'm just telling you the truth. You looked stunning. So anyway, come on then, spill it. Where in the world do you get that kind of money from? How do you earn so much? Does your husband have a lucrative side business or something? Or does he invest in good stocks? Or did you guys win the lottery? Gosh, I don't know how to answer you. We're not really that rich, you know. Oh, darling, I don't mean to pry. Oh, dear me. I didn't mean to give you that kind of impression. I was simply curious. It's fine. Curiosity did kill the cat, though. Oh, darling, do you really think I'm prying that much? Well, it does feel overly inquisitive. Well, like I said, I'm just curious. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So then, out with it. Where does all the money come from? If I'm honest with you, Kelly, I'm very uncomfortable talking about this now. I don't think we have a close enough relationship for us to talk so openly about our personal finances. Can we talk about something else instead? Oh, you're so uptight. Don't worry, it's totally normal. I talk about it with the other moms all the time. They don't mind it at all. Or is it that you don't want to talk to me? No, I never said that. Of course, it would be great to get to know you more, but I just find it impolite and strange to talk about finances right off the bat. Wouldn't you agree? Oh, come on, don't get mad. I'm only asking you a simple question. I don't want you to get stressed about it. I promise you, I'm not mad nor am I stressed. Like I said, I just find it uncouth. Oh, I see. I'm uncouth now, am I? I'd say I just wanted to get to know you better. You know, dear, just because you find something impolite or uncouth doesn't necessarily mean that other people think so. Of course, I can understand that. We all have different values and perspectives. Right, so what's the problem then? Asking about personal finances is normal among my friends. Why isn't it okay with you? You're the only one being coy about it, you know? I mean, if anything, I actually think women nowadays have got to be more open about it. I mean, women need to look out for each other, right? You and I have to look out for each other. Right? Sure. I just want to be friends. Is that so bad of me? Okay. Anyway, I think we should hang out sometime soon. Yeah, that sounds nice. We actually have a lot in common, you know? More than you think. Do we? Both of our oldest children are the same age and they're in the same class, right? Our girls both love arts and crafts, right? Well, yes, I guess they do. Oh, and you have a part-time job, right? Well, so do I. Well, okay. Oh, when I heard about that, it took me by surprise. I was like, she doesn't even need a job with a rich husband like that. So I figured that you must treat your part-time work like a hobby or to kill time or something. Anyway, my point is that us both having a part-time job is also something we have in common. Right? Well, actually, I don't work part-time. I'm not sure where you got that information from. I actually have a full-time job and a pretty demanding one at that. Oh, I wonder why I thought you had a part-time job then. Anyway, let's see where we can take it from here. Maybe we can take it slow and gradually build on our friendship. Oh, great. I'm so excited. Then I'll see you at your house this weekend. This weekend? What do you mean by that? Oh my God. Did I tell you how much I love a good Spanish paella? It'd be wonderful if you prepared that for me and the kids. They'll love it. A paella. The kids. Hold on a minute here. You want me to prepare a meal for you and the kids? Oh, you would do that? That sounds fantastic. Whoa, hold your horses. You do realize that you just invited yourself over to our house, right? I haven't even invited you. Oh, but how can we build a friendship without even hanging out together? Well, yes, but... And didn't you say you wanted to be friends? Well, I don't recall saying those exact words, but... Oh, it's all syntax. I know what you meant, silly. Okay, but still... This weekend, it's too last minute. It's already Thursday. I don't have enough time to prepare a paella. Okay, well, I'm so excited. So Saturday around noon? I don't think you've been listening to what I've had to say. We'll skip breakfast for it to make plenty of space for the paella. Oh my, this is gonna happen, isn't it? You're gonna come over with the children this weekend. Oh, aren't you excited? Oh, fine, whatever. So Saturday at 12 p.m., okay. Oh, you do know about the fishmongers down the street from the preschool. You can get the ingredients for the paella there. They have the best seafood. The mussels especially. Oh, my mouth is starting to water just thinking about it. Okay, see you soon. Hold on. Are you actually being serious about all of this? You've just gone ahead and made plans for me and my family without my consent. Kelly! 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 Good evening, Katie. Sorry for texting you so late. I want to ask you something if that's okay. If it's a bad time, we can talk another time, though. Hi, Yasmin. It's good to hear from you. Oh, no. I was just winding down after getting all the children bathed. What's wrong? Well, it's about Kelly. I know there's been a lot of gatherings with the other moms that I've missed out on since I've been so busy with work. But I just don't know how to, I'm having a bit of a problem talking to Kelly. Yeah, we noticed you're quite a workaholic. But don't worry, we all understand. Plus, there's always some kind of school event or parents' dinner going on, so I'm sure there'll be a time when you can come and join us. Yeah, definitely. Anyway, you said you're having some kind of issue with Kelly? Oh dear. What has she done now? What did she say to you? Did she bribe you for money? Oh, no, nothing like that. Oh, then what happened? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. It's just that she's gone ahead and arranged to come over to my place this Saturday, but I didn't invite her, nor did I really want to accept her coming over to our house. She was very imposing. She literally just invited herself and her children over. Just like that. I mean, I've never been in a situation like that before. I don't even know her that well, so I couldn't outright refuse either. Plus, our daughters go to the same preschool, so I'd rather not get into her bad books, but I just don't know what to do. Oh, dear. And I thought I'd ask you since I remember you telling me that your daughter and her daughter are friends too, right? Well, yeah, they're friends, and her daughter seems to be a good kid. But, not the mother, unfortunately. Oh, I can't believe she's got her eyes on you now. What do you mean by that? What kind of person is she? Should I avoid her? Oh, yeah. She's someone you do not want to get to know. In fact, if you want my advice, you should try to stay as far away from her as you possibly can. Really? But why? She started to pry into my personal finances the other day. She drove past her house, and I don't know what got into her. She started off giving me backhanded compliments on my house. Then she started asking me about my husband's job and from where I get my money from, etc. She really didn't hold back with her questions either. It was a bit shocking, honestly. Oh gosh, how typical of her. It seems like she's out for money. That's literally all she ever talks about. It is. What do you mean? She doesn't seem like she needs financial help or anything, though. Well, she's always been like that, ever since I've known her. As soon as she meets someone who seems well off, she tries to find her way into bribing them for money. What? But why on earth would she want to do that to someone she just met? That's extortion. Yeah, it's appalling, isn't it? So, do you mean that there are other people out there who's been preyed on like me as well? Well, I have heard some stories, and I've spoken to other moms who came crying to me because of her. Remember Jenny and Becky? They both came to me about her as well. To tell you the truth, I've actually been scammed as well. No way! What happened? I've tried to cut any form of contact with her since then, but it can be hard when all our children go to the same nursery. So you've been bribed by her too. How much, and what exactly happened? Well, in my case, she claimed that I broke one of her crystals. She invited herself over to my place, a bit like your situation. And she said she wanted to show me a couple of crystals from her crystal collection. And then she laid them out on the table to show them to me. And when I stood up to use the bathroom, I accidentally knocked one over and it fell onto the floor and into pieces. I thought crystals were stronger than that, but it completely shattered. I told her I was sorry and that perhaps she shouldn't have put that crystal on the edge of the table, but she didn't listen. I'm telling you, she put it there on purpose. She knew I'd knock it over at some point. So anyway, she told me to cover the cost to get a new one since crystals are one of a kind and irreplaceable. She even said she'd get a lawyer friend involved even before I could have a say in it. I honestly didn't mean to break it. It was a total accident. Just talking about this gets me irritated all over again. Oh my, I'm so sorry to hear all of this. And you know how much you wanted for it? $1,000. I was like, $1,000 for a crystal? Yeah, that's absurd. I mean, I'm no crystal expert, but $1,000? Honestly, I tried to stand my ground with her, but she just wouldn't budge. In the end, it just tired me out, and I just gave up. Oh, no. Yeah, so I'm telling you, she's bad news. Well, believe me, she'll never do that to me or anyone else ever again. I'll make sure of it. I swear I will do whatever it takes to take her down.
What do you mean? She's a tough cookie, that one. I think you might be underestimating how manipulative she is. I'd be really careful when talking to her.
Oh, no. Trust me, it'll be okay. I haven't told you this before, but I'm actually a... Yasmin! What the hell did you do to me? Do you really think you can get away with this? After what you just did to me? Excuse me? I have no idea what you're talking about. You literally stormed off in a rage and left my house an hour ago, and you're texting me all of a sudden? I'm the one that needs an explanation here. Well, I left because I had to. Think about what you did to me. You physically abused me. I hope you realize that. Excuse me? You really want to act like I physically abused you? That's funny, because I don't remember doing anything that can even come close to that. At all. Oh my. How drunk were you to not remember any of this? You pushed me. You pushed me so hard I fell and hit your kitchen table and broke my wrist. Really now? Yes, it's definitely broken. I have to go to the police. I'm going to report this. I'm going to report you. Do you think that's really necessary? Well, yes. You were so violent towards me. The fact you don't even remember scares me, Yasmin. Perhaps you need to go to a therapist so you can control that anger of yours too. My wrist, oh, my poor wrist. It hurts so much. If you're so concerned about your wrist, why not go to the hospital? Why the police? Because I need to file a report on you first. The police need to know about your violence. Why else do you think I'd go to them? Just you watch. Your rich husband will leave you for this. What are you talking about? Violence. I'm completely sober. You know full well I only had a glass of red wine. And I only had that because it went really well with the paella I made just for you. Don't you think it was delicious, by the way? You never commented on it. I put so much effort into it. I'm so sad that you never said anything about it. Never mind the paella. You really don't remember. Do you think the police are going to believe that? Do you think they'll believe the word of a drunk woman over me, the victim? I told you I'm completely sober, and I'll take the breathalyzer to prove it if they want me to. Oh, they still won't believe you. They'll think you just sobered up in the last few hours. Okay, let's see what happens then. Go on, let's go to the police. Well, dear, since I'm feeling generous tonight, I could let you off if you want. Oh, what do you mean? Well, there is a way to just settle this between the two of us. Oh, really now? Yeah, look. It's not much, but how about you pay me a certain amount of cash and I'll let this one go. I knew it! Huh? You conniving cow. Excuse me. You were gonna scam me off for money from the beginning, weren't you? Hey, is this the way you should be talking to me after your brutal attack? Show some remorse, why don't you? This is all your fault, you know. My fault? Please explain exactly how this is my fault then. I told you, I didn't do anything. You're the one faking an injury just to try and get some easy money. How dare you? Just because you have no memory of it, it doesn't mean you didn't do it. It sounds like you wouldn't mind if I went to the police then, huh? Not at all. Go ahead. I hope you're thinking about the consequences. Think about what your husband will say to this. He'll outright divorce you. And he'll kick you out of that huge house of yours that you live in. Oh, I'd love to see that happen right in front of my eyes. I'm going to need front row seats for that. So let me get this straight. You're planning on making a false claim stating that you were injured in a violent attack. It's not a false claim. But if I do go ahead with it, you're the one that'll get into a lot of trouble, you know. And here I am trying to settle it nice and quietly for $5,000, and you simply won't take it. I would charge more, but since we just became friends, I thought that amount will do. So you should take it as me being nice. Just for you.
How does $5,000 justify any of this? You don't even need that much to treat a broken wrist.
And how would you know? Look, this is the bottom line. It's either the police or the money. You choose. I'm ready for the check. In fact, cash will be absolutely fine by me too.
Oh, okay then. Well, let me tell you something you've been waiting for then.
Okay.
I'm a lawyer. I put conniving, deceitful, heartless criminals like you into prison. That's what I do.
What? No, you're not. You're not a lawyer. Stop messing around. I'm going to sue you anyway.
You really want to take this up with the police and sue me for a false accusation? Go on. I dare you.
Oh, well.
Oh, you've suddenly gone quiet. Are you okay? Are you reconsidering your statement now?
Well?
Oh, and I might as well tell you now. This huge house you seem to envy, I bought this with my own money. It's under my name. It's my money, my house.
It's yours.
Yeah, mine. I told you I'm a lawyer. Doesn't it make sense? I told you that my husband has a normal office job. That was me telling you the truth. Something you should learn to do, Kelly. You seem to have assumed that everything I have here was bought with my husband's money, but you assumed wrong. I run my own law firm. I have employees working for me. I have plenty of cases to work on. And I can certainly get one of my people to work on this case too, because it's definitely not worth my time solving this case. I don't have time for silly cases like this. They can handle it. And they'll take you down real good.
Oh, so you really are a lawyer. I didn't know. Why didn't you tell me earlier?
Why should I? What makes you think I should be telling you anything at this point?
Well,
the only thing that's good coming from all of this, from me taking time out of my busy schedule to talk to someone like you, is that at least I'm able to protect my friends from a criminal like you.
A criminal? I'm not a criminal. You must be kidding.
Of course you are. What else do you call someone who lies and extorts money from people?
What? No, I would never dream of doing such a thing.
I have evidence that proves that you've been extorting money from several people in our neighborhood.
I think you've got it all wrong. I have no idea what you're talking about. Look, okay, I won't go to the police then. If you say you're a lawyer, I'll let you off, okay?
What? Did you say you'll let me off?
Yeah.
Well, that's big of you, isn't it?
Look, we're kind of both to blame here, right? I came across too strong with my words, and you were in the wrong for not telling me that you were a lawyer before I went all crazy on you. Shall we call it a truce?
Oh, look at the change of tone we have here. It's too late now, though. I'm planning to file a lawsuit against you. You'll see where you belong soon enough. You certainly don't belong in a lovely house like mine, that's for sure. No, I think jail is much better suited for you.
Yasmin, darling, listen. You're scaring me now. This must be some kind of a bad joke, right? You don't mean any of that. You sound so serious, and that's not like you at all.
Ha, like you even know me. You make my blood boil. It's people like you I despise the most in life. Selfish, deceitful, manipulative people like you. In fact, this is the reason I do what I do. To put people like you far away from society. To make this world a better place.
I'm not like that at all. You've got my intentions all wrong.
You said you broke your wrist earlier. Shouldn't you be in enormous pain right now? Don't you need to be heading to the hospital? Whatever happened to that now?
Oh, this. Well, I just checked and it seems all right now.
Didn't you make claims that I attacked you?
Did I? I don't remember.
Didn't you say that I broke your wrist?
Oh, did I? I don't remember. Oh, and look, Well, there you have it. It's working perfectly now. I'm all better now, darling. Don't worry about it.
Trust me, I'm not worried. But I knew your claim was fake all along. I never so much as laid a finger on you, much less shoved you.
Oh, did I say that? Silly me.
Oh well, anyway, Kelly. You better give me back all the things you stole from my house, too. I know you took them. It's called stealing.
What? Me? Steal? I would never do that.
I heard about you and your sly and sneaky ways of stealing other people's belongings. I know your tricks. I've got a great shot of you in action on my home security camera, too, actually. I caught you stealing my diamond bracelet. I caught you red-handed, and that's all solid proof for what you've done.
No, that can't be me. I never meant to take anything from you. It must have fallen into my bag. You know these things can happen, right?
It's too late now. It looks like I'm going to be reporting you to the police now.
Oh, no. Yasmin, wait, please. Now that's a bit too much, don't you think? Look, how about I pay you back for the bracelet? How about $300?
$300? You trying to scam me out of $5,000 and you're only offering $300? I wonder how much money you've scammed out of all the other women. I'll make sure to make you pay for all of their money too.
Wait, you're gonna report me for all the other moms too. But this is just between you and me, right? We can keep this to ourselves.
I have no intention to back off now. You'll be talking to the police soon enough. Don't think you can get away with this. You criminal. After that, I followed through with my threat and filed a report to the police on behalf of all the women who'd been victimized by Kelly. The amount totaled to a whopping $5,000, which coincidentally was the exact amount she asked me for. The police arrested Kelly soon after on the charge of extortion. Her husband found out about everything soon after and filed for a divorce too. As for me, I've been taking pro bono cases for the other neighbors who've been in trouble and am becoming quite popular. Since this incident, no one dares talk to Kelly anymore, and it looks like we've gotten a peaceful neighborhood back at last. Let's hope that devil never shows up in this neighborhood again. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like it and see you in the next one.